We're tackling a critical topic for the California real estate exam: your duties to third parties and the disclosure of material facts. This is a major source of exam questions and real-world liability, so it's essential to get it right. First, understand that even when someone is not your client, you still owe them a duty of honesty and fair dealing. This isn't the full fiduciary duty you owe your principal, but it's a fundamental obligation to not deceive or mislead anyone in a transaction. The exam will test this by presenting scenarios where you, as a seller's agent, interact with a buyer. Your primary responsibility in this context is the disclosure of all known material facts. A material fact is any piece of information that a reasonable person would find important in their decision to buy the property or in determining the price they'd pay. A leaky roof is a classic example of a material fact. The seller's favorite paint color is not. An exam question might describe a situation where a seller tells you they just painted over a water stain on the ceiling from a recurring leak. Even if the buyer doesn't ask, you have an affirmative duty to disclose this known defect. Concealing it, for instance, by placing a rug over a damaged floor, constitutes actual fraud and creates significant liability. Another area the exam loves to test is the difference between puffing and misrepresentation. Puffing involves subjective opinions or exaggerations, like saying a property has a fantastic view. A reasonable person wouldn't take that as a verifiable fact. Misrepresentation, however, is a false statement about a material fact, such as claiming the roof is 5 years old when it's actually 15. This is a violation of your duties. In California, licensees must also conduct a reasonably competent and diligent visual inspection of accessible areas of residential properties with 1 to 4 units. This is often documented on an Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure, or AVID form. You are not expected to be a home inspector, so you don't need to climb on the roof or move heavy furniture. However, you are expected to identify and disclose red flags, obvious signs of a potential problem, like a large crack in a visible foundation wall or those water stains on the ceiling. A common exam trap involves a seller instructing their agent not to disclose a known material defect. Your duty to disclose to third parties overrides your duty of obedience to your client in this situation. Failing to disclose can lead to civil lawsuits and disciplinary action from the Department of Real Estate. To help remember your core obligation here, use this simple phrase: when in doubt, disclose it out. The exam will always favor the answer that involves transparency and full disclosure of any fact that could be considered material. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.